Once upon a time, not too long ago, in a place up high where the bezelgrug grow, where the sun beats down with a crackling flow, where the days are long and the wind is slow, there stood a group, just sitting together, upright on the rock face, embracing the weather, a friendly band, a columptuous bundle of Rex, Minty, Jojo, and Grundle. They perched on their mantle, all swaddled in sun, talking and gawking and having great fun. Rex noticed a movement that got his attention. The sight of two giblets, too ugly to mention. A stark aberration of code and convention. Locked eyes in a moment of unwavering tension. He let out a gasp, alerting the rest.
"Look, my friends, look there on that crest. Those beasts,"
he said, while puffing his chest.
"They're green and fat and awfully dressed. What are they?"
he said, with a chuckling guffaw.
"I've never seen something quite like them before." "Oh, yes,"
said Minty.
"over there on that cliff, with their spindly old legs and their eyes skew if—"
"They're horrible,"
chimed Jojo.
"They're not even like us. If we leave them too long, they'll ravage and spike us."
A short noise from Grundle settled their plight, which quickly resulted in tremulous flight, till the granular giblets were out of their sight. A short while passed of climbing and searching for a place well hidden, ideal for perching. Using his spriggers, Jojo had found it. Befuddled, they cuddled and huddled around it. They spent the night there and awoke in the morning. Their spirits were high as the new day was dawning. Out into the sunlight the best friends were spawning, completely unfazed by yesterday's warning. They pottered about and chortled away, keen for the humping of a trunculous day. But Grundle was moaning. Something was wrong. His tendrils were twitching and growing quite long. They twisted and tangled and pointed due east, and the horror he felt in his liver increased. The giblets were back, with their wretched eyes staring, piercing right through. Their gaze was unsparing. It was too much for Minty, who found it despairing, but Rex held his ground, just stood there, glaring.
"Who are you, you green-legged creatures? Me and my friends are appalled by your features. Tell us your names, you bulbous delinquents."
Rex bombarded with measure and sequence. But the giblets stared blankly, overlooked his inquiry, and ignored his questioning, so virulent and fiery. Chilled by the silence, Rex rallied the clan to shed the impostors and think up a plan. Then Jojo piped up,
"Now listen to me. The higher we go, the safer we'll be."
So straight off they went, with a skip and a hop, not waiting or resting till reaching the top. But as they emerged on the uppermost rock, a sight was lurking that gave them a shock. Two giblets stood gaping, all mottled and grey, their legs protruding, their eyes all asplay. A sickening terror swooped down on the crowd, but Rex turned to fix them, his countenance proud, his torso inflated, his face thickly browed, as he swaggered towards them, and bellowed out loud,
"You fiends! You monsters! You're filthy and cretinous! 'Twas disturbing emerging to find your eyes set on us. How dare you come all of this way just to threaten us? I've something to say, I beg you adhere."
Rex raised his voice, demeanour severe.
"Look at yourselves, all horrid and queer. You're constantly filling my buddies with fear. I thought that I made myself perfectly clear. Go on, get lost, and don't reappear."
With that, it seemed, Rex had gotten his way. The giblets retreated and slinkered away. A few days later, Rex was out skipping. A stone crossed his path. He ended up tripping. He stumbled and lurched. His foothold was slipping, clung to the rock face, his sludge tightly gripping.
"Help!"
he yelled with trembling breath.
"If no one comes soon, I'll fall to my death."
The others were stricken the minute they saw him. So far away, they could do nothing for him. And then something happened. You won't believe what. Two gimbling giblets appeared in that spot, all grimy and slimy and covered in grot. Rex shut his eyes to mutter and pray. He quivered and quaked in utter dismay as his body began to gutter and sway. At that very moment when he thought he would die, he saw a protuberance from one giblet's eye, a forthcoming limb, a stiffening tentacle, sprouting from the giblet's rightermost ventricle. He gratefully clung on without hesitation as both giblets hoisted him into salvation and planted him in a much safer location as everyone hollered in great celebration,
"Hey! Thank you."
He bowed.
"You two are my saviours. Henceforth we will stop all our rudish behaviours. I'm dreadfully sorry, I was wrong from the start. We heckled and jeckled and ripped you apart. We were ever so shallow, consumed by your looks, assumed you were tricksters and devilish crooks. But as it turns out, you were nothing but gentle. Never again will we be so judgmental.
From that day forward, if you're willing to know, in a place up high where the bezelgrug grow, where the sun beats down with a crackling flow, where the days are long and the wind is slow, the friends and the giblets all sat in a row.